Tape 1. Postman. I noticed a homeless man with a shopping cart filled with tons of dusty VCR tapes approaching me while I was on my trip to the nearby grocery store. I tried ignoring him, but he looked me straight in the eyes and said, "Hey, buy a tape. I promise they're worth it." I just ignored him and sped up to enter the store as soon as possible. He wasn't disappointed at all and calmly said, "Don't worry, first batch of tapes is free. I'll even deliver them to you." I quickly understood the creepy tape seller was a man of his word. Not even 20 minutes passed after I returned home, and I had a box of VCR tapes waiting for me at my doorstep. Only it wasn't really your normal delivery. It was more of like when a kid tries to prank you by ringing your doorbell and then running away, so you're greeted with nothing after you open the door. Except instead of nothing, I was greeted with a box filled with 10 VCR tapes. Curiosity got the better of me, so after a bit of searching, I ordered a VCR player from eBay. It arrived fairly quickly. Luckily, I already had a compatible old TV stashed up in my garage. My viewing experience began after I excitedly hooked up the VCR to the dusty TV that looked more like a mini fridge than a TV. To better keep track of what I've watched, I'll transcribe these videos, one by one. Tape 1. Postman ring. Robert opens his eyes. What the hell? Ring Robert, angrily whispers to self. I'm too damn hungover for this. Robert groggily walks to the door while the ringing continues. He looks at the peephole. Strangely, it seems to be either covered with something or blurred by some kind of liquid. Robert. Hello? Person at the other side of the door. Hello, Mr. Robert. Got a package here for you. Robert, scratching his head. Package? What package? Person at the other side of door. Oh yes, your name and address is written on it. Says here you don't even have to pay for it. Robert. Well, I didn't order anything recently. Must be some kind of mistake. Person at the other side of door. I don't think it's a mistake, sir. Robert. Yeah, how so? Person at the other side of the door. Well, I looked at the info written on the package itself. Looks like you won some kind of prize from the Coca-Cola company. Robert. No way. Person at the other side of the door. I heard there's a random prize giveaway organized by the Coca-Cola company going on recently. Seems like they picked you as the winner. It's your lucky day, sir. Robert whispers to self. Was about time Coke rewarded me for drinking their bottled cancer for ages. Robert. You sure I don't even have to pay for the delivery fees? Person at the other side of door. Everything is paid for already. The only thing I need is your signature. Robert. You really made my day, man. Been a while since I won anything. Let me just find my wallet and I'll give you a tip for your trouble. Postman. That won't be necessary. Not trying to be rude, sir, but we postmen are busy people. We can't afford to lose too much time. So if you could kindly just open the door and take the package, I would be very grateful. As I already said, I'll just need your signature as proof that you received the package. Robert. Sure thing, man. Let me just grab a pen so I can sign it. Robert scrambles to the living room. He tries to find a pen in his messy room, but he notices something that makes him freeze in place. Robert, yelling. I'm calling the police. A blood-chilling, almost animalistic screech, followed by heavy yet fast footsteps, emerges from the other side of the door as soon as Robert finishes his sentence. In no more than 30 seconds, the sound of the main building door slamming shut is heard. Robert quickly takes a peek at the window, trying to see who or what exited the building. He momentarily sees an extremely tall figure that would put even the tallest of basketball players to shame disappearing in the darkness. Robert slowly approaches the clock in his living room. Robert, while looking at the clock. Thanks, buddy. I owe you one. Time on the clock, 2:53. AM. The screen flashes as an eerie warning appears. Warning. Start watching the second tape now or suffer. Tape ends. I stare in confusion at the TV, wondering what the hell I just witnessed. I pour myself a glass of water and take a sip. A sharp pain hits me as soon as I do. I spit out the water and with it a bloody tooth. I try picking up the tooth to try and examine it, but before I can even take a better look, another wave of extreme pain hits me. But this time I feel it coming from my fingers, more specifically the index finger of my right hand. As I take a look at my index finger, I see the nail is completely missing. The only thing left is bloody flesh. While processing the disturbing mix of pain and fear, I remember the warning at the end of the tape. "No way," I whisper to myself as I begin to realize the warning might be serious. In an act of desperation, I put the second tape in the VCR player. The tape starts. Immediately, my TV screen flashes brighter than ever before. It was so bright that I had to close my eyes for a couple of seconds. Miraculously, as soon as I opened my eyes, my wounds were gone. Not only did the pain and bleeding stop, but I looked like nothing even happened to me. My nail was back on my finger. I poked my teeth with my tongue and confirmed the bloody tooth that was on my table just moments ago was now in my mouth and in perfect condition. The realization hits me. Looks like I'm not leaving until I watch all 10 tapes. Even a short bathroom break could be my doom. I prepare myself as my eyes stick to the TV like superglue. Tape 2. Chickens begins. Tape 2. Chickens. A farmer approaches his chicken coop. The chicken coop itself looks like a small house. A tiny painting on the wall that looks like a rooster with a smile. 2 windows with bars and a metal door are all the noticeable features of the chicken coop from the outside. As the farmer gets closer, he notices the door popped out of its frame, and upon closer inspection, it looks like a professional boxer gave the door a few good hits. Farmer. Shit. The farmer quickly enters the chicken coop, expecting the worst. He starts counting his chickens, with a disappointed look on his face. He takes out his phone and calls someone. Farmer, on the phone. "Hey, I know you're busy and all, but I really need your help. Something big tore down the door of the coop and even took one of my chickens as its dinner. Can you hop over here and help me change the door? I'll pay you a hefty sum of cash." The farmer finishes his phone call, seemingly satisfied with how it went. While he waits for the replacement door, he tries to find out what took one of his chickens. He stares at the chickens walking on the sawdust bedding. He tries to find any sign of struggle, blood, or flesh. Unfortunately, he only sees the usual noisy chickens walking on the sawdust bedding without a care in the world. 20 minutes pass. The farmer's friend carrying a seemingly impregnable door joins him. They shake hands and hastily get to work. Some time passes, the new door is successfully installed. Farmer hands out a wad of cash. "I owe you one, bud. Take this. You earned it." The farmer's friend takes the wad of cash with a smile. Farmer's friend. "Let's just hope whatever broke down your first door doesn't come back. Actually, it would work well for me if it came back to wreck this door too. Changing a door for this much moolah is well worth it." Farmer. "Cheeky bastard. Don't get your hopes up, I think this door will hold." The farmer's friend wishes him farewell and leaves. The farmer gives his chickens fresh food and water, then locks the new chicken coop door and leaves. The farmer once again approaches the chicken coop. Looks like one day has passed. This time, the door looks to be in pristine condition. A big smile appears on the farmer's face as he notices the door hasn't been penetrated. The farmer unlocks the door and enters the chicken coop. Instinctively, he takes a look at his chickens. The farmer's bright smile turns into an angry expression. Farmer. "Damn it. How?" The farmer once again calls his friend. Farmer. On the phone. "Man, you won't believe me. The door's all good, and yet one goddamn chicken is missing again. Something got away with it even though the windows have iron bars, and the door looks like it's damn near bulletproof. I'll need to borrow your security camera, just for a little while. 3 days is more than enough. I have to see for myself what the hell's happening here. About 20 minutes pass. The farmer's friend joins him once again. They quickly shake hands and get to work. The camera is quickly set up. It points directly to the chicken coop. Farmer's friend. Well, I don't know what kind of animal is killing your chickens. My guess is a bear that learned a lot from Houdini. Whatever the hell it is, the camera will catch it live and you're finally going to find out who or what your troublemaker really is. Farmer. Yeah, I hope so. Don't worry, I'll return the cam in 3 days, just like I said. Farmer's friend. Best of luck to ya. Once again, the two friends part ways. The farmer locks the door and leaves. A day passes. The farmer does the usual routine, but this time, no chicken is missing. The same thing happens for 2 more days. It seems the farmer's luck finally changed for the better. The farmer's friend arrives to pick up the camera. Farmer's friend. So, did you find out what the mystery intruder was? Farmer. Not at all. 3 whole days passed and nothing unusual happened. I even reviewed the surveillance footage. All I could see is just boring old chickens. Farmer's friend. Weird. Looks like the mystery beast went on its merry way. I guess it got sick of eating chicken every day. Farmer. May it never return. The two friends part ways. One last time, the farmer locks the door of the chicken coop and leaves. It looks like it's nighttime. The chicken coop is shown from the inside. The sawdust bedding rustles. The chickens all run to one corner. They look to be in distress. A lanky humanoid figure with short goat-like horns emerges from the sawdust. The mysterious creature lets out a deep yawn and stretches its long arms, just like anyone would after a good night's sleep. Without even a moment of hesitation, the creature lunges at the chickens. It grabs 2 of them by the neck, putting them in its tight grip. The creature calmly approaches the door of the chicken coop. A quick cracking sound is heard as the creature easily snaps the necks of the 2 chickens. The creature puts down the lifeless bodies of the chickens down for a moment. With surprising power and speed, it starts punching the door. Not even 20 hits are needed, and the door pops out of its frame. The creature picks up both chickens and slowly exits the chicken coop. Tape ends. The same warning appears just like last time. Not willing to waste any time and risk getting heavily injured, I quickly took the tape out of the VCR and put in the next tape. Tape 3. Butcher begins. Tape 3. Butcher. A man enters a meat market. He looks around for a bit. Then he grabs 2 packets of ground meat. He goes to the checkout counter with the packets in hand. At the checkout counter, he meets the shop owner. Man. Hello. Owner. Hi there. The owner looks at the 2 packets of ground meat. Owner. That'll be $12. Man. Sure. Let me just grab my wallet. Owner. Oh, almost forgot to tell ya. I'll be back in just a moment. The owner turns around and opens a creaky black door. He enters the room and closes the door behind him. The man looks confused, but still patiently waits for the owner to return. About 5 minutes pass, and the owner returns. Owner. I apologize for the wait. Here you go. The owner gives the man a small packet of minced meat. Man. What is this? Owner. Well, we've just opened up this shop, so here's your gift for being one of our first customers. It's a special kind of meat, made from a very rare type of pig. I'd say we're one of the only ones that produce this type of meat. Man. Thank you very much, sir. The man pays for his order. The owner quickly wraps the 3 packets of meat in a paper bag and gives it to the man. The man slowly exits the shop. He turns around and sees the friendly owner waving him goodbye. But as he looks a bit closer, he sees the owner's eyes are red and full of tears. The owner turns around and once again enters the room behind him. The man enters his home. He wastes no time and immediately starts preparing his meal. He takes the ground meat out of the 2 plastic packets. Skillfully, The man forms the ground meat into a couple of patties and begins cooking them on a small portable grill. As soon as the burgers become slightly brown, the man puts them in a couple of buns and eats them, voraciously. The man finishes his meal, but he doesn't seem to be fully satisfied. He looks at the small packet of meat that the owner gave him as a gift. The man takes the packet, rips it open, and forms it into a small patty. He begins grilling the juicy, crimson patty. As soon as the meat looks fully cooked, he puts it into a bun and eats it just like the last couple of burgers. But this time the man looks visibly satisfied. He licks his fingers as soon as he finishes the meal. Man, to himself, Jesus, this is so damn good. The man cleans up after himself, then takes the small empty packet of meat to the trash can. Before throwing it into the trash can, the man freezes in place and looks at the bottom of the packet. The man sees something written on the bottom of the packet. In tiny black letters, the word "help" is plastered on the bottom of the plastic packet. The man scratches his head in confusion, probably wondering if this is some kind of early April Fool's joke. After a couple of seconds, the man puts on his shoes and leaves his home. The man approaches the same meat market. It has a closed sign on the door, but the front door is not locked, and the lights inside are still on. Probably thinking the owner just closed up shop recently, the man enters the shop. Before the man can even say hello, he is met with a loud squeal coming from the room in the back. The squealing continues and gets even louder. The man approaches the black door slowly. After about 3 minutes of waiting and listening to the almost deafening pig-like squeals, the man's curiosity gets the better of him as he slowly opens the door just enough so he can see what's inside the mysterious room. The man is immediately met with a disturbing image. He sees the owner of the shop on his knees. He is wearing only his apron and squealing like a pig. After a couple of seconds, from the shadows, a large figure emerges. The creature that emerges is at least 2.5 feet tall and seems to be morbidly obese. It is wearing a white butcher's uniform with a red apron. The most disturbing feature is its head. It looks exactly like a pig's head, but the look on its face is unnervingly human. The rest of its body looks just like a normal human being's body, although unnaturally bloated. The creature moves closer to the owner. It opens its large mouth and starts vomiting. After about 10 seconds, the creature stops vomiting and wipes its mouth with its apron. The owner lunges at the vomit and eats it while grunting like a pig. After just a minute, he devours all of it. Not even a moment later, the owner's body swells up. He looks like his weight doubled. The creature takes something from the table. It looks like a bag of some sort. Then it throws it right next to the owner. The owner takes the bag and puts it on his head. As he does, it becomes clear that the object he put on his head is no bag, but instead a makeshift pig mask. The mask has a pink pig nose taped on it and 2 holes for where the eyes are. The owner starts squealing once again while looking at the disturbing creature. The creature grabs a large butcher knife. The creature cuts off a piece of flesh from the owner's back and drops it into the meat grinder. The owner squeals while the creature holds him down and cuts him once again. The man looks like he has been frozen solid. He just stares in disbelief. The creature wiggles its pig-like ears and turns to face the man. A large smile forms on its face as it looks the man in the eyes. Creature: "Looks like you already ate it. Good." The man trembles in fear as the creature grunts. Creature: "Since you're here, there's no need for this one." The creature averts its gaze. It looks at the owner, and with one quick move, it slices his throat. The owner audibly chokes in his own blood. As the owner dies, the creature grunts in pleasure and looks at the man once again. Creature: "Come, you'll be a fine replacement." The man tries to turn around and make a run for it, but before he can, the creature speaks once again. Creature: "Humanus porcus." As soon as he hears the creature speak, the man falls to the ground. Then he gets up and quickly enters the room. The man gets on all fours and starts squealing just like the owner did. The massive creature slowly approaches the door and closes it. Tape ends. The last couple of tapes were disturbing, but this one almost made me throw up. I didn't even let the warning play out. Instead, I took the tape out and threw it back in the box. Then I put the next tape in and hit play. Tape 4. Pigeons. Begins. Tape 4. Pigeons. A man is watching TV in his apartment. Suddenly, loud cooing is heard. The man is visibly frustrated. He quickly stands up and approaches the balcony. He opens the balcony door and angrily shouts at the small group of pigeons. The pigeons scatter instantly, but it seems like one of the pigeons is entangled in the messy collection of fishing gear that the man keeps stored on the balcony. The frightened bird tries its best to get out of the fishing wire, nets and rods that are pinning it to the ground, but to no avail. The man looks at the trapped animal. A malicious grin forms on his face. Man, that's what you get, bloody bastard. The man leaves the struggling pigeon and closes the door, showing no empathy at all. He sits on his large sofa and continues watching TV. A montage begins. The man is doing his usual daily routine, while the trapped pigeon's frantic cooing is noticeable in the background. Seemingly, days pass. The pigeon's desperate cooing is getting louder and louder, but the old man remains unbothered. He completely ignores the bird's cries for help. After many days of struggle, the pigeon finally becomes completely silent. He notices this almost immediately, then gets a trash bag and opens the balcony door. He is met with a surprise. Instead of finding the corpse of the unfortunate pigeon, he finds nothing more than his fishing gear. He shuffles through the fishing gear, but the pigeon is nowhere to be seen. He scratches the back of his head in confusion. Then he exits the balcony and starts watching TV once again. As soon as he sits on the sofa, he hears 2 light knocks on the window. He turns around and looks at the balcony window. He notices an unusual dark-colored pigeon pecking at the window. The pigeon seems to be completely black, except for its large blood-red eyes. The man approaches the window and quickly knocks on it to try and scare the pigeon away, but instead of flying away, the bird just slightly turns its head and looks directly at the man. He awkwardly stares at the pigeon for a good minute while trying to scare it away. He shouts and knocks on the window, but the bird doesn't move or make a sound. Its bloody eyes continue staring at the man. His patience seems to be thinning as he grabs a fly swatter off the table. With the long fly swatter in hand, he opens the balcony door and immediately forcefully hits the pigeon with the large fly swatter. Surprisingly, the dark pigeon is completely unfazed. Once again, it just turns its head slowly and looks the man straight in the eyes. The anger on the man's face is quickly replaced with a look of absolute fear. He quickly exits the balcony, closes and locks the door behind him, then quickly shuts the blinds of the balcony windows. Visibly disturbed by the unwanted visitor, he goes to the bathroom and washes his face. While washing his face, he hears another knock. Instinctively, he looks at the bathroom window and sees the same dark pigeon staring at him with its bulging eyes. He quickly shuts the blinds once again and exits the bathroom. Another montage begins. The man is once again doing his usual daily routine. The scenes are similar to the last montage, but this time, the man is visibly uneasy. The uncanny dark pigeon is standing at the window of every room the man enters. He is trying to ignore the pigeon's gaze, but to no avail. Finally, the man seems to have had enough. He shuts the blinds of every window in his home. While trembling in fear, he sits down and turns on the TV. His hands are shaking so much that he can barely even hold the TV remote. Suddenly, a loud sound of glass breaking is heard. The man gets up and slowly approaches the bathroom. He cautiously opens the door of the bathroom. Inside the bathroom, on top of the shattered glass, stands a tall, dark creature. The massive bird-like creature is easily as large as the man. It is covered in feathers that look more like greasy, dark fur. Its legs are long and muscular. Overgrown, sharp talons are protruding from the creature's toes. The sinister creature's beak is oddly similar to a toucan's, the only difference being its charcoal black color. Without warning, the creature looks the man in the eyes. He immediately notices something that makes him scream in terror. The creature's eyes look like a pair of bloody marbles, exactly like the dark pigeon's eyes did. The man starts to run. The creature immediately follows him, matching his pace with ease. He tries to exit his home, but the creature quickly stands in front of the main door. With his only exit now blocked, he desperately enters the living room. He quickly rushes to the balcony. His mix of rashness and fear overwhelm him as he trips and falls on the hard balcony floor. A loud crack is heard as his head hits the ground. The man looks like he's badly hurt. He doesn't seem to be able to get up, and his speech has been reduced to pained moaning. The disturbing creature approaches the crippled man. As the man slowly loses consciousness, the creature looks him in the eyes for one final time. Tape ends. Just like I did last time, I quickly swap the tape with the next one. Tape 5. Arapmav begins. Tape 5. Arapmav. A fence with a metal gate is shown. An older-looking man approaches it. The man opens the gate and reveals a large cow pasture. There's about 50 cows walking on the pasture. The cows themselves look to be very well taken care of. Some of them are eating fresh grass, while the others are drinking water from the water troughs. While most of the cows seem to be carefree and perfectly healthy, one of the cows is standing far away from them and looks extremely sick. It is far skinnier than the rest of the group. A swarm of flies is hovering over its head. The man approaches the ill cow. It seems to look even worse up close. The poor animal looks like it's lucky to even be alive. The sickly cow doesn't even seem to notice the man as it stares at the fence. Its eyes are foggy and white. Sorrow appears on the man's wrinkly face. He takes a look at the nearest water trough. The water inside seems to be tainted. The liquid's color seems to be pale red. The man immediately drains the water trough. Then he hastily cleans it and fills it up with fresh water. The man takes out a phone out of his pocket and makes a call. Man, it's an emergency. I need you here right now, Jack. He quickly ends the call and waits. Not even 5 minutes pass. A muscular man wearing a cowboy hat and black rubber boots joins the old man. Jack. Hey there, Abe. What's the problem? Abe. Well, take a look for yourself. Abe points at the sickly cow. Jack takes a look at the unfortunate cow. Jack. Jesus. What the hell happened here? Abe. I have no idea. First time I've ever seen anything like this. Bessie was as healthy as ever yesterday. Now look at her. She's barely hanging on. Abe takes a deep breath. Abe. She won't last more than a day. Please, just end her suffering. Jack pats Abe's shoulder. Jack. Go take a rest. I'll take care of Bessie. She'll pass peacefully, I promise. Abe. I appreciate it. Abe hands the gate key to Jack. Jack. I'll return the key to you after I finish up here. It won't take too long. Abe leaves the pasture. It seems like a couple of hours have passed. Abe is sitting in a rocking chair and holding a glass of whiskey. The doorbell rings. Abe quickly leaves his drink on the nearby table and rushes to open the front door. He opens the door and sees Jack. Jack. I've taken care of old Bessie. I'm sorry it had to come to this. Abe. Thank you, old friend. I've just opened a good bottle of scotch. Why don't you join me? Jack. Can't say no to that. Jack enters Abe's home. Abe leads Jack to his small living room. Abe pours Jack a glass of expensive-looking Scotch whiskey. The friends seem to enjoy each other's company. They chat about various topics and seem to enjoy the whiskey. Hours pass. Jack looks at the silver watch on his wrist. Jack. It's already so damn late. Time flies when you're having fun. Unfortunately, I can't stay any longer. Have to fix the old tractor. Can't really do that without getting some shut-eye. Abe. That's a shame. The two friends sit up and approach the front door. As soon as Abe opens the door, the sound of cattle in distress is heard. The cows are mooing loudly. Abe. Seems like luck is still not on my side. Abe goes to the living room and grabs a hunting rifle. He quickly hurries back. Abe. I'll bring this old thing just in case. Jack. Sounds good. I'll watch your back. The two friends quickly walk towards the pasture gate. The mooing is getting louder and more frantic. Abe unlocks the gate. The two friends hastily open the gate and enter the pasture. As soon as they look in the direction of the frightened cows, they are met with a dreadful sight. A skinny, dark red intruder is standing beside the water trough and cutting its wrists deeply with its long, sharp nails. Even though the creature looks to be 1.8 feet tall, the creature's arms are lanky and incredibly long. If fully extended, they seem to be able to touch the ground. The creature's head is human-like, but it doesn't have even one hair on it. Even the eyebrows are missing. Its wrists bleed heavily. Dark red blood drips into the water and slowly gives the water a reddish hue. Most of the cows continue running in circles and mooing frantically, but 5 of them start drinking the contaminated water. The two friends stare in disbelief as the cows rapidly ingest the bloody water. As soon as the cows stop drinking the water, their eyes become pearly white. Their pupils seemingly disappear. The creature stops cutting itself and looks at the 5 cows. The animals obediently look at the creature, seemingly hypnotized. Abe grabs the hunting rifle and skillfully aims it at the disturbing intruder. He shoots one bullet and hits the creature straight in the head. The bullet passes through the creature's forehead as blood gushes out of the open wound. The 5 cows scramble to lick the spilt blood. Surprisingly, the creature easily shrugs off the damage. It doesn't even react to the wound. Seemingly amused, the creature looks at Abe while its wound rapidly heals. Not even 10 seconds pass, and the wound completely disappears. The creature smiles while looking at Abe. Its smile is unnaturally wide. It is then that I notice a disturbing feature of the mysterious intruder. It has no teeth. The creature extends its eerily long arm and points at Abe and Jack. The 5 cows instantly start running towards the two friends. Abe and Jack exit the pasture in a hurry. Abe tries to lock the gate while his hands tremble uncontrollably. Unfortunately, he doesn't lock it in time as the 5 sick cows stampede through the gate. The 5 cows mercilessly trample on Abe and Jack. Screams of agony are heard as the cows easily crush the bodies of both men. The creature approaches the mangled bodies of the men. Their heads have already turned into a bloody mush under the weight of the frenzied cows. The creature looks at the crushed corpses of the men and smiles once again. Its toothless grin remains as it starts eating the soft, crushed remains of the men. Tape ends. I stare at the screen in shock. This time, instead of the usual warning, a different disclaimer appears. You've made it to the halfway point. A 20-minute break is allowed. Continue watching as soon as the 20 minutes pass. I want to use the surprising 20-minute break in all its glory, so I'll end this part here. Part 6. Rigged Tape. I am the OP's best friend. I will try to explain what happened to him as best as I can. I was very familiar with my friend's tape situation because he sent me messages while watching them. He advised me to visit him only if he stopped sending me messages. Unfortunately, soon after he finished the 5th tape, he stopped texting me. I rushed to his home and used the hidden spare key to open the door. What I saw has chilled me to the bone. My friend was laying on the ground and was almost unrecognizable. He looked like a bloody pile of minced meat instead of a human being. Oddly enough, he seemed to be alive. The lumpy flesh was vibrating and softly groaning in pain. Before I could even process what was happening, I saw his phone on the ground. The screen was slightly cracked, but it was still usable. The Notes app was running. In bold letters, a warning was written. I can still be saved. Do not call anyone. Open the notes and find the instructions. Follow them closely. Don't pay attention to my current condition. It will only distract you. The warning confused me, but I would never doubt my friend's advice. I ignored the influx of emotions and quickly did as I was told. On the phone, I found a note labeled as tape instructions. I opened it and found some instructions and a detailed description of the 6th tape. The instructions were long and very detailed. I'll try to post the shortened version of the instructions and tape transcription as soon as I can. What I can tell you without revealing too much is that this tape 6 is unique and far more dangerous than the tapes that came before it. I read everything 3 times and was determined to follow out the instructions. My first reaction was, holy shit, this tape is rigged. I looked at the old TV and the VCR with a box of tapes sitting next to it. Before starting the 6th tape, I looked around the room and found a good pair of headphones on the sofa. This will do, I whispered to myself. Finally, I connected the headphones to my own phone and started playing a long Linkin Park playlist. I put the headphones on and increased the volume as much as I could. You're probably thinking I'm crazy, because instead of trying to call the ambulance and help my friend, I choose to listen to my favorite band and watch the 6th tape. Trust me, after reading the tape transcription and instructions, I now understand that if I really want to save my friend, this is the only way to do it. I'm glad I read the transcription of the tape, because I now know what will happen, which gives me an advantage my friend unfortunately didn't have. I will now start the 6th tape now. I will take my friend's role and try to transcribe what's happening. Although since I read my friend's warning, I already know exactly what's on it. Without any further delay, I put the tape in the VCR and hit play. Tape 6, Witch Doctor, begins. A pearl white room is shown. Inside it, there's only one piece of furniture, a white armchair. A tall man is sitting on the armchair. He's wearing a dark blue suit with a matching tie. A black top hat sits on his head, but it's extremely small. It looks to be the size of a coffee mug. The mysterious man's skin is pale, so pale that I imagined it would almost blend in with the walls of the room if he wasn't wearing any clothes. He looks sickly, yet full of energy, even though he seemed to be severely malnourished. A huge smile was plastered on his bony face. His gray eyes looked like they were staring directly at me. If I didn't read my friend's transcription of the tape beforehand, I'd probably be confused. But instead of confusion, I feel fear. This is the man that turned my friend into a blob of flesh in the time span of no more than 10 minutes. If I make one tiny mistake, or my plan simply fails, I have no doubt I will end up in the same position as my friend is in. The pale man gets up and waves with his thin right hand. What comes next will either be my demise or a chance to save my friend. I have around 2 minutes to prepare for that moment. For now, I'll end this part here.